Black Metal Reviews. It's one of those older bands from Norwegian black metal scene. This one is called Tulus. Now, however, this band was founded already in 1991, roughly, give or take. For a lot of reasons, this band has fallen mostly out of the radar, at least when compared to other bands from the very same era. I'm talking about the big names such as Darkthrone, Mayhem, Burzum, Immortal, etc. So while Tulus was there even years before some of the more bigger names from the Norwegian black metal scene, they never gotten too much attention. And I find it kind of sad because Tulus has been all the way rather consistent in quality and style. I would even go as far as to say, make this bold statement that recent years they have been maybe probably even stronger than their early years. Their style is not the most sexy, however, being kind of a mid-tempo and grim and straight to the point with rather, I don't know, old school take on the riffs. And by old school I mean 1980s. I mean, if you really think about it, these weird, sometimes even kind of awkward riffs with their slow tempo and, you know, bending the guitar strings and all that stuff, it wouldn't be really a miracle if you started thinking like bands like early Celtic Frost and all. I'm not saying they're exactly the same, obviously, but the thing here is they've always been a little bit different than your typical Norsecore, being fast and all that stuff, you know, or raw bands like Darkthrone and Ilion, etc. But when you compare Tulus for most parts, like bands like Burzum, well, less melodic, less catchy in a way. If you compare that to bands like Immortal or, I don't know, even Gorgoroth Thok or whatever, I mean, Tulus is more like a bare bones, stripped to the very basics. That's part of the charm, however, but I get it, it's not for everybody. Another thing which might have affected Tulus' take on black metal success and all that stuff is that, really, there is a sibling band called Cult, which then again was founded a little bit later, but if you take a look at these years, from 1991 to 2000, that's exactly where Cult came to be, and Tulus was kind of like, no more. However, take another look at the members list, and you will find 3 guys in the band, yes, they're all part of Cult, and Cult has been there since 2000. This is kind of interesting because they have been all the way down active, and in my opinion, probably the latest album, Svartun, last year, which I also got to review, is probably their best. So, while Cult became active and Tulus went on a hiatus, or basically, you know, just disbanded, you know, Cult kind of picked up the pieces, went for a little bit different, but still kind of a similar thing. And if you go for similar artists, well, you will obviously find Cult here as the first one. So it's kind of a weird trigger road, like have 2 similar bands coexisting. Goes beyond me, but there's a reason for these guys to do that, I guess. And past few years, obviously, the band has been active, so if you take a look here, once again, the Tulus discography, you will see that from 2007 onwards, the band has been constantly releasing new albums. Well, not that often, I mean, there's a 5 years and 8 years difference, and now 3 years. But the funny thing is, Fandens Kall, which is the 7th album by the band, is one of the stronger ones by Tulus. Not the best, but among the best ones. So here we have it, 32 minutes and 10 songs. And I pretty much described you the whole music already. I mean, what else there is really besides those rather simplistic but kind of weird riffs? It's not exactly the darkest, it's definitely not the most aggressive or the fastest band, but there is something very primitive, something very back to basics, bare-boned, what is going on with Tulus, and I like it. So having these kind of scores based on 2 reviews on Metal Archive said 87%, I'm not really surprised people like this much. I'm not that far with Tulus, but I would say this is 8 out of 10 album. Why so? Because be it for the vocals, be it for the riffs, be it for the production, everything is, you know, just nailing it. Now, in my opinion, Cold is a little bit better. And sometimes it feels like Tulus is getting maybe a little bit less effective riffs, less good songwriting. But these are not like they're 2 siblings too separated from one another. So maybe Tulus is the older brother, maybe Cold is the younger one. But they have something good going on. I mean, both bands, and in one way or another, they're kind of like supporting one another. I like them both, but if I had to pick, like, you know, gun pointing at my temple of my head, I would say, yeah, Cold it has to be. But then again, if I don't have that gun pointing at me, I would say like, yeah, why not both? Good band, which I think both deserve more attention. For example, I was kind of stunned to see Tulus Facebook presence is only like 3,000 people or so, while some of the bigger ones, well, over 1,000, 100,000. That's kind of like, why so? Now, if I got to pick your interest with this one, I hope you will give it a chance and I hope you will listen to the music. I got to witness these guys live a few years ago, and when I got to do an interview, I mean, I like the guys, I like the music, and I hope you do the same. So, Tulus, Fandens, Kall from February 2023. Still out there, still kicking ass. Go check it out and I hope you like it. Thanks for your taking a look at this review and all. See you soon. Bye bye.